Hey everyone, Brad Thorpe from Isophit. Welcome to another edition of Isophit Q&A. So today's question from the mailbag is, can I get a J-Lo butt training with Isophit? The answer is yes. It comes back to volume of training. It comes back to specificity of training. Now, when we talk about specificity of training, there's no better product on the planet than Isophit. So can we build a J-Lo butt? Hell yes. Now, I'm not just going to sit here and talk about it. I'm going to show you 4 different glute exercises that can help build your J-Lo butt. You guys ready to do this? Well, I got my Isophit MSK back here, so I'm just going to jump back here. So we've all heard about like glute bridges and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive underneath here, and I'm going to show you how to do kind of a glute bridge on the MSK. So we need to have it so your feet are on the platform so you don't lift the platform up because it's only 39 pounds. From here, driving those hips up into the crossbar. Now, this is kind of good and all, but the problem is there's a heavy amount of hamstring stuff. So what I want you to do is come to the edge of your feet and externally rotate your hips and drive those legs up. So traditionally, you guys have been doing like hip thrusters with all these rubber bands and stuff. But the problem is, once you start to fatigue, that gets real heavy and it potentially puts you at a great deal of risk. So I can drive those hips up and drive those knees out to the side. So that's one option, right? And understanding the architecture of your glute maximus is hugely important, right? So understanding it comes across that posterior aspect of your ilium, which is that bone here, comes down your sacrum, comes down to the coccygeal fibers of, well, basically down to the tip of your coccyx, which is your tailbone. So what we want to do next, so we've done our glute bridge with external rotation. Then what we want to do is a single leg hip extension with external rotation to tighten up that tissue and then drive back. And you want to hold that and drive a little bit longer, right? So it's not 45 seconds, so aim to drive for a minute, right? Getting it up there, because what you want to do is you want to fatigue those muscles in order to cause hypertrophy. So one of the things when you're looking at increasing the size of, that means you have to make it bigger, right? So what you're doing is you're driving that leg straight back and then turn it out. Now, one of the things people say is you need to do motion-based exercise in order to make stuff bigger. Well, the answer is no, you don't. You need to basically apply appropriate tension and force to the appropriate structure. So our third exercise is going to be a single leg, like it's going to be a lunge, so a split lunge. Now, what I want you to do, instead of just driving down, I want you to pull that right hip forward, right? So what you're trying to do, and I'll just sort of center myself off on the camera. So here, so what you want to do is pull that right hip forward to help elongate that and stretch out or elongate that sort of left glute, and then counter rotate the upper body. So that way what you're doing is you're taking now the glute maximus closer to an end range, right? Because we know short is back here externally rotated, long would be flexed and internally rotated. So if we can start learning how to control those movement patterns by bringing that knee across and in, right, and bring that right hip forward, and then apply force, that's going to help increase that glute maximus. Now your fourth exercise we're going to have you do is a searcher lunge, right? So we're staying away from squats. Squats are very inefficient for developing your glute max relative to a single leg option. So coming underneath, drop underneath, bring that back leg back. Same thing applies. So we're bringing that hip forward, knee in, and then just driving up. So that's 4 different exercises that we can quickly and easily do on the Isophit MSK to help build a J-Lo butt. So if your goal's bigger, rounder, firmer looking butt, there's no better product. I'll see you guys tomorrow on another episode of Isophit Q&A.